Hey, it's Team Rooney. I just wanted to do a live stream. Anyone can join. In this case, I'm just really trying to build a community. I don't really have many subscribers currently, but I'm hoping to grow based on my new podcast skills that I've learned over the past few weeks. I was really studying hard on it and really want to get to. And you guys can comment on anything. Yeah, basically, I'm working I'm using this as a way to get better at journalism. I'm getting my degree in journalism currently, and I'm really working hard. So yeah, any questions? Ask. Anyways, I'm really doing podcasts about sports, specifically baseball right now. And when that ends, football season should be towards the end, and we'll have more information on that. Um, so yeah, just hanging out. I do like drinking water, so because it's a lot of talking. So you'll see me do that. I already uploaded the first episode as well as a special episode of my A's merchandise. So yeah, anybody who I think it's going to be a great channel. Just I'm looking forward to the hopefully seeing growth, but at the very least, this channel is a way I could see myself grow as a person and as a speaker and a much better communicator, which is great. My ultimate goal of journalism is to become a basically become a blogger for opinion pieces on how things, and I want to really emphasize how it relates to society. I'm specifically like pop culture, like music or movies, and how and like the message is what I really like to emphasize. So I would love to talk to like stars about it, or do my research on what that movie was about based on other interviews, things like that. So I'm really hoping that at some point I can do that. So yeah, any questions? Oh, the Giants are currently in extra innings. Last I checked. Let me check my phone. Um, let's see. They're down 5-4, top of the 11th. And this is against the Rockies. They're barely holding on to a 7 seed right now. So I'm hoping that it gets that they keep that. I want to see it. I'm from the Bay Area, so A's Giants World Series. No matter how unlikely it is, I want to at least give it a chance come playoff time. I was not alive in '89, so I'm pretty sure you can tell by looking at me. But yeah, I'm really hope I'm a huge A's fan. I've already can already tell from my channel. Um, so I mean they haven't won a playoff. My goal is for them to win a playoff series. They have not won a playoff series since '06, and they went to the ALCS and lost to the Tigers, which I remember that exactly that home run, and I remember who hit it to basically for the Tigers to move on to World Series, which they did lose. And I'm kind of selfishly happy about that. Um, yeah, basically, when this guy Miguel Ordonez, who's in so Placido Polanco was on base. I forget who else, but I think it was Barry Zito that was came in the ninth inning. I don't know why he was out there because it's the ninth inning. He's a starting pitcher. Um, Gave up a home run to Miguel Ordonez, who's like this. I think he's Italian. I think could be wrong, or that actually might. Not, I don't know, but he's got this like. I think he's a Latin dude, or yeah. I don't think he's Italian. I think he's Latino, and he has this big long hair, and he used to just kill the A's. It's like he and Polanco would always just kill the A's, and I want my revenge. In fact, I actually want to go to the World Series, and then they also lost a few. Like another time, I think it was with the A's were carried by Grant Balfour in 2012 as far as their bullpen. And here's another fluke. Here's another thing that happened between them, the A's and the Tigers in the division round. Is we were up 2-1 in the series. Um, Grant Balfour always cussed, and that's what drove him to pitch so well. And this catcher, Victor Martinez, was pretty well known at the time, happened to not like it, took offense to it, and he charged the mound with a bat. And apparently, Grant Balfour got suspended 2 or 3 games, and actually the same amount of games as Victor Martinez. That is not. I feel like that was pretty messed up by baseball, Major League Baseball commissioner at the time. Maybe more messed up than what Manfred does, and I'll get to that later in this live stream. So basically our closer was out, and we had other injuries within our bullpen, and it just killed the mood of the series, and we ended up dropping games 4 and 5, and we don't move on, and then they move on to the World Series and lose to the Giants, even with the Triple Crown Miguel Cabrera. People usually forget about Miguel Cabrera when ring, but he got it with the Marlins in 06. Was it 06? I think he got it in 06 or something. But or 04. It was one of those 2 championships when the early 2000s Marlins when he was super young. I don't think he contributed to them the way he did to the Tigers for a lot of his time with the Tigers. At this point, he's just getting his last paycheck. Kind of forgotten, even though he's a 313 lifetime average as of a few days ago. I think that's pretty remarkable, given that think of one of the best average hitters and longtime respected players, Kenny Lofton, who just great batting average all the time. Kenny Lofton batted 299 career, and Miguel Cabrera has batted 313. I'm not saying that he's Kenny Lofton, and they're both super all-time players in my book. One for speed, one for hitting. Lofton was great at average, great at stealing, great leadoff man in the sense that and he had 130 career home runs, which is pretty good for a leadoff man. But that was just a good comparison to show you that he's one of the all-time leading hitters. And so, yeah, he's probably not. I'm hoping he gets to 3,000. He might have 3,000 hits. Let's look that up. I'm gonna see if he has 3,000 hits because he's dealt with injuries the past 3 years or so. So let's check this out. This is a fun thing to look up. He's still getting paid $28 million, which is overpaid. It's just a long contract after getting that Triple Crown. Deserved, but kind of too long, which happens in baseball a lot. Like for example, the Phillies, Ryan Howard, Cole Hamels at the time, things like the Cliff Lee contract. Jimmy Rollins had a big contract for a while. They just didn't get anything for him. They kept him too long, but also signed him for too long and on too expensive of contracts because they kept winning. He has 2,845 hits. There's no way at 37 years old he's going to be able to get 3,000. But still pretty remarkable. Including, not only does he hit for average, he has 482 career home runs. So let's check lifetime RBIs. This is Wikipedia, so I'm not really sure how accurate it is. As far he has 1,700. Approximately 1,726 RBIs, so almost a 2,000 RBI hitter. It says he won the World Series in 2003. That's what year it was. Yeah, that was his rookie year. So yeah, he was not making as big of an impact back then. I'm not saying he wasn't good, but yeah, and he has won the Triple Crown, and he's a 4-time AL batting champion, 7-time Silver Slugger, and yeah, 2-time AL home run leader, 2-time RBI leader in the AL. Yeah, 2-time MVP as well, 2012 and 2013. That's for the AL. An 11-time All-Star. That guy should be in the Hall of Fame, but the thing is, it's going to get overshadowed by the fact that he overstayed his welcome. I think the Triple Crown is probably going to get him in, but he won't be like Mariano Rivera's of the world. So there's some that was an interesting thing to look up. Yeah, and also I'm also wanting to get into what I talked about in my first podcast, and what I will get into quite frequently is Manfred's mistakes around the Astros, or baseball's mistakes in general, and whether they're Manfred's or not, such as that Grant Balfour thing I just talked about, such as Laureano getting 4 games, and after basically getting hit twice, and the fact that there was no warnings. Um, should have been more like it ended up being a 2 game suspension, I think, but after appealing, but he shouldn't. But I feel like it should have just been a fine. I know COVID's going on, so I mean you can't really control. Um, I'm not going to go into that aspect, but they're definitely trying to follow protocol on what's going on with the world and trying to adjust so there can't be brawls, which I don't get because the first baseman is oftentimes right next to that guy that gets on first. So, and they're trying to do pickoff plays. I don't know if the umpire and the batter and the umpire, the batter, and the catcher all in one tiny little space. I mean, I understand that they get tested and everything, but it's like I don't get the difference between that and a brawl. Um, I honestly I think that they're, and also I don't think Joe Kelly was. I know it looked like he was. I don't think Joe Kelly earlier this season was aiming for the Astros' heads. I think he was just trying to scare them. Like oftentimes when you do it was high and tight and just close enough that they ducked. I don't think he was trying to. They made it out to say, "Oh, he's trying to kill them." Well, the Astros have beamed Laureano, blamed him like 5 times this season, and that's not fair. Let me check something. All right, let's see. Brewers game starts soon, so I'm hoping. I think the A's just moved into the second seed. That's good. They're playing the Indians as of beginning of the day. I'm not saying that probably is going to change or something. I don't know with how tight it is. But they were originally the 3 seed, and they're playing like, they're gonna play the 6 seed, which would at the time was the Astros. Hold on. So yeah, this is you're gonna see a lot of opinions, and I am a lifelong baseball fan, but I'm gonna be biased, and I'm slightly biased towards the A's. I have knowledge of all the other teams, and I'm trying to be objective as possible. I just know with the A's stories, I might be a little um, biased towards my guy, naturally. And so yeah, I'm honestly looking to keep talking about, like, always single every single podcast I'll have a story like that. But with Joe Kelly, he was just trying to scare him off, like teach him like you should be scared of me, and it's weird because every single time the Astros get hit, it's like it's an automatic warning, like you do this one more time, you're ejected. Ooh, but when the Astros hit somebody, it takes like 4 or 5. It takes people yelling for them to give out the warning, which is I don't know what I think he's trying to protect them because um uh to the cheating scandal, everyone hates him for it. Well, you don't really have to protect them. And they should be. And someone's got to do something. There's no crowd to boo them. No crowds to boo them. There's no. And the players didn't get punished yet. They were the ones primarily responsible, along with the manager. I don't know who cares about the general manager. I don't think he had to be that big of a part of it. I think it was the players and the manager, and the owner for knowing what was going on. But maybe the owner, but you can't. But I don't think the owner really cares about a fine. I think some players should have been suspended. Yeah. So we'll always go into depth about things past and present that the MLB has screwed up on. I don't think Joe Kelly should have been even suspended all but 2 or 3 games because he wasn't trying. Like, people go high and tight all the time. For example, Chapman even will throw it high and tight because he's just to back them off the plate. It's a strategy. Fires does it, and you're gonna end up plunking people. But he wasn't intentionally. He was intentionally backing them off the plate. That was my outlook on it. I don't think he's crazy enough to kill somebody. He hates the Astros, that's for sure, and he was scaring them to teach him a lesson. But I just don't like how the press made it out to be. From an objective standpoint, he backed them off the plate, and he was throwing it near their heads, high and tight, and then they had ducked or backed off the plate, and then there was a brawl between the two teams. Honestly, there's got to be some backlash. I mean, there's going to be brawls just because no one got to have they didn't get their proper consequences. Like there have been zero consequence for those players that were the main reason this and the cheating happened, and they're getting rewarded for cheating. And also proof that they cheated is if you look at their batting averages for most of these players, especially MVP Altuve, recent MVP Altuve, and Bregman, their averages went way down, and they were both MVP candidates over each of the, at least one of them was an MVP candidate. Sometimes both over the past years they were cheating. So and their averages are way down. Their hits are their stats are just terrible now. Compared to what they were. In fact, Altuve is not even playing in the lineup. In fact, at one point he said, "Let me play at the bottom of the lineup," and of course, of all people, they said that Altuve didn't cheat. And the whole team was at one point was claiming, "Oh, Altuve didn't want to cheat, or Altuve didn't cheat, or didn't use the cheating to his advantage." And I'm pretty sure he was, based on this evidence of. Let's see the comparison between these stats. You can't tell me that this is just that this kind of drop off is natural just because it's a 60 game season. Okay, Jose Altuve. Let's see. Stats. Oh yes, MLB reference. Let's see. This year he is batting. Let's see. Okay, so average. Oh, where is it? Oh, batting average. So in 2017 he was batting 320. Okay. 2019 he batted 298. This year he's batting 215. And there were a couple years, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2015, where he was batting in the 300s, at least 313. That's so basically his career average is 311, but he's batting 215 this season. So, I mean, he must have been batting pretty high going into this season. I don't know. I mean, that basically proves that he was cheating, whether they want to admit it or not. And I think that's part of what's so infuriating is things like those small things. It's like those comments like that, where those cocky comments that the Astros make, and Manfred's not doing anything about it. He should be reprimanding for making comments like that because it's inflammatory when it comes to what other teams think. So I'm basically on this channel. I'm going on tangents on my podcasts and even on this live stream, just to give you a taste of what it's all about. So if you hate the Astros, join this channel. If you hate how the MLB handles things like the Astros over the years, whether it's Manfred or not, join this channel. And so yeah, basically another thing is it's like on the second half of this, I wanted to talk more about me and who I am. I try to be as objective and loyal. I have very objective opinions. It's like I'm very except they're very black and white. I try to simplify my thoughts on things before answering. So basically, I'm saying like there's right and there's wrong, and there's never in between. But I also say that that's just my perception. I'm objective based on my perception of the world and or like whatever I'm talking about. Um, so yeah, anyone and and I'm also always open to discussion. I know I could be fairly polarizing. If anyone has a comment that or criticism or a comment ever in the comment section, I will try my best to respond to it. Especially early on, I really want to build a community and a loyal fan base. So, and I want to be loyal to my whatever fans I get. And I will communicate with you in the comment section. I also do games. I also play MLB 9 Innings 20. You'll see a lot of videos for that. I'm gonna do less and less of that because I can't find because my screen recorder app for whatever reason is not working currently. I have to find a new one. So, anywho, yeah, you'll hear me make really awkward jokes or comments because that's just my kind of humor. And yeah, you'll hear me stutter a few times. Don't worry about that. Everybody's got something. And I'm very honest to a fault. Like if I'm not gonna hold back my opinion. That's what makes me kind of polarizing. But also, I feel like people have told me I find that's entertaining. So I'm kind of overemphasized it on this channel. In real life, I'm not gonna go, or I'm not gonna go and argue with some guy off the street. I like back and forth conversations. If there's something you say that's derogatory, I'm willing to work it out versus just not responding or blocking you. If it gets excessive, then I just won't respond. I have there's no benefit to me blocking you. If you're hurting others, that's another story. I'm sure YouTube will be able to handle that part. Um, so also when I do football, it's weird. I'm a 49er fan and an A's fan. Usually you're like either the A's and Raiders or the Giants and the Niners. I am actually a mix. I do not like the Raiders because they've moved again. And they actually moved out of state this time. I don't appreciate that. You can't they're not loyal to anybody really. They're just about woohoo, you get more fans in Las Vegas. I understand the business side of it, but to me, you're not gonna keep me as loyal rooting for you. In fact, I rooted for the Saints, which are probably gonna end up, which the Niners may actually end up having to compete against at come the eight for that top seed in the playoffs. And I don't like the Saints. I think Drew Brees should retire. I know this is last year, but that should have been 2 or 3 years ago. And so, looking forward to the football season ramping up around probably right after baseball playoffs. Then I will start talking about football. So I don't really want to talk basketball. I'm going to leave that. That's actually an opinion that I'm not going to get into because I don't talk about social issues on this channel. Hey, how are you, the Rotten Banana? So I'm starting a podcast basically, and you can watch this back to see what it's about. It's basically a baseball podcast, and for now, and then when baseball season is over, I will go on to football. Uh, uh, and that's good. So how's 9 innings 20 going for you? By the way, this is one of my early subscribers, and I'm really glad he's joining the chat. So yeah, back. So basically, I talk to fill you guys to recap. I'm gonna do a recap here and probably end this because it's kind of going on and on. And so basically, it's a podcast about sports and my opinions on it, as well as how things are uh, how things shape up. That's cool. Yeah, I joined a different club. It's actually really good. So I don't really play PS4. I have the 360 LOL, and so I can't record things, and I'm not gonna play console games because I feel like you can't. It's hard. It's less positive communication than a mobile app or doing stuff like this. Uh, so yeah, basically, this is a podcast about my opinions revolving around Manfred, or baseball in general. So far, I'm mainly talking about baseball in the sense the road to the playoffs, who my picks are, who I want to face, as well as and as well as my opinions on how things get handled, such as the Astros or suspensions in general. Oh yeah. If it's not A's and Giants, I'm picking A's and Cubs because the Cubs waited so long to get there first. I think that they should be able to start something. They should be able to win again. Cubs have always been a third team of mine. Just because I, I I just like their culture. They have such great fans. So yeah, basically, I'm gonna be. This is basically your product. I'm gonna be doing live streams. I'll probably do more of those than just recordings. More of these than just recordings. And uh, yeah, the Old Faithful. I remember, and I love their theme song, "Go Cubs Go." Um, that's been around for a long time. I looked it up on YouTube. And so yeah, this guy's great at commenting. And so yeah, it's I'm gonna be mainly doing these kind of videos, and mainly on live stream. Sometimes it won't be just because I can't always do that, and I'll have a reaction to every playoff game that goes on at the end of at the very end of the day, West Coast time. So I'll be able to hang in for all of them. So that is it for this podcast. Anything else you want to say, the Rotten Banana? Okay, nice. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.